Source loves whether you let it in or not. So many people don't feel loved, but it's not because they are not being loved, it's because they're not letting it in. And Source doesn't say, well, they're not letting it in, let's give this one up. Century after century, we love, they don't let it in, we love, they complain, we love. It's not like that. That pure positive energy continues to be pure positive energy, and you must, if you want to feel good, calibrate to it. So you cannot let your offering of love, your exuding of love, be conditional on someone's receiving it.
Okay. Hi.
We are.
I'm feeling really good. And the question that I have is, when I experience, have an experience, and like you said, I'm calibrated and I know what I want. When, as the last gentleman that was just up here was mentioning about the thoughts that I have may be in opposition to what I'm feeling, even though it's feeling good,
then you're not calibrated, because that can't be. First of all, it's not possible to be focused on opposing vibrations at the same time. So just realize that your vibrational reality is like a holding pattern, because your inner being is focused there. So when you focus where your inner being is, you're calibrated. So what you just described is your desire is where your inner being is calibrated, but you're focused in opposition to that. Give us more example if you want to.
I want to keep general about it. I can feel where I want to go and what I'm desiring.
What you feel is an indicator of the direction of your thought. What you feel is your calibration indicator. If you feel discouraged, that's your indicator that you're calibrating away from what you want. If you feel hopeful, then you're calibrating more in the direction of what you want. If you're feeling really happy, then you're really calibrating in the direction of what you want. Most people are kind of all over the place, happy, discouraged, and so you don't have a real handle on calibration. Usually what's happening is you're letting current circumstances calibrate you. If you're getting something nice from someone that you want, then you calibrate to that. Or if you're not getting what you want, then you calibrate to that. But you want to get control of your calibration. You don't want the circumstances to be what you're calibrating to. You want to calibrate to your true desire. You want to calibrate to what's already created in your vibrational reality. You want to calibrate to the knowing and the perspective, the perception, the opinion that your inner being has about the subject. So your feeling tells you how you're calibrated. And if it's not a good feeling, then you want to gently try to think your way into a different feeling.
So what if like I was saying in my thoughts, it would appear possibly that it's other than good, but when I speak it, it feels good.
Well, if it appears that it isn't good and then you speak it and it feels good, then it is good. In other words, trust your feeling. Trust your feeling and don't pay any attention to what anybody else thinks about it. Haven't you ever had someone, you're both saying the same thing and you mean different things even though you're saying the same thing? The word God, the word money, even the word relationship. People are all over the place in what they feel when they say such a thing. Sometimes you think you're talking about money and you think money is a positive thing, but when you feel terrible every time you talk about money, that means you're calibrated to the absence of money rather than to the abundance and presence of money. So how you feel matters. It's primary. It's dominant. How you feel really, really matters. It's the central tool for productive calibration. It's the essential tool to deliberate creation. There's two ways to approach it. Get out ahead of it before you're thinking these alleged thoughts that you're describing to us, or that you're not describing to us. if you've meditated and tuned into who you really are, then those thoughts will usually follow that positive thread. But if you haven't, and you're waiting to walk into a situation and then you're having a knee-jerk response to the situation, then you don't have any control over your vibration or over your point of attraction or over your outcomes.
Okay. So it's okay. Just follow what feels good, basically.
Is it okay for the skier who has momentum as he's tumbling down the slope? Is it all right for him to keep doing that? Well, Abraham, how can you ask that? He has no choice. He can't do other than continue to go with the flow of his momentum. So when you say, is it okay? It's okay for you to have a negative thought. It's okay for you to create things you don't want. In fact, in most cases, not only is it okay, you can't do anything about it this red hot minute. Other than, in the midst of it, no, I don't want this. Which launches an equivalent calibrated of what you do want, which your inner being then climbs all over and becomes one with. So every time something feels like it really went bad, it also really went good. In other words, it's the beginning of the evolution. It's step 1, you ask. Step 2 is source became one with it. Step 3 is now your work. You've got to calibrate to what you want, which means you have to let go of the beliefs that you held that are in opposition to what you want. People say, I want a lot of money, but I don't believe I can get it. Or they say, I want a lot of money and I'm willing to work hard for it, but I don't want to work hard for it. And so, but if you say, I know that what I want will come to me and that the universe will find a way to deliver it to me, if I can put at bay or at rest those resistant thoughts that are keeping it from getting into me. Follow?
Okay, so I have an example. So if I am giving love or loving someone, and how can I feel like I'm steady, but then like if it gets ignored or it gets missed, or I feel like it gets missed.
All right, so here's the thing. It's a really good example. So I'm giving love because I'm a lover. It's just how I like best to feel. But I can't control the receptive mode of anybody else. So I'm offering something that's not being received right now. So now you have a choice. You can feel resentful, which means you calibrated to them, or you can just find a way to stay in your love anyway. You love because you're a lover, not because you're trying to control somebody else's experience. And it's so delicious when you're loving someone who is open to your love. That's just the best of all of it. But that's what makes you, as humans, try to calibrate to that. You put emphasis on what they're doing in the equation, which you can't control, instead of emphasis on what you're doing in the equation, which you can control. So if you were writing this or calibrating it, you might want to say things like, I love because I'm a lover, not because that person's letting it in right now. In fact, you know what? Hear this. You are being, in this example, exactly like what you call God is, or what source is, or what inner being is, because source loves whether you let it in or not. So many people don't feel loved, but it's not because they are not being loved. It's because they're not letting it in. And source doesn't say, well, they're not letting it in, let's give this one up. Century after century, we love, they don't let it in, we love, they complain, we love. It's not like that. That pure positive energy continues to be pure positive energy. And you must, if you want to feel good, calibrate to it. So you cannot let your offering of love, your exuding of love, be conditional on someone's receiving it. You're not loving them for an ulterior motive. You're loving them because you love. And it's up to them to let it in or not. But if they don't let it in, that's not any of your business. It's their business. It's not any of your business. And what do you think the best chance of them coming to let your love in is? For you to say, okay, never mind. Or, okay, well, I'm not going to offer it to you because you don't let it in. Or is the best opportunity for them to let it in be for you to consistently offer it. And eventually, as you know, you'll catch them in a weak moment when their resistance is down. And they'll let it in and they'll like it.
Okay. So it feels good to receive love as well. So,
well, let's talk about that. The law of attraction says the only way you can let love in is to be calibrated to love. So why does letting it in feel good? Is it because of the love you're letting in, or is it because of the calibration to love that you already are?
The latter.
Ooh. So now you can let everybody else off the hook. It's so much misunderstanding. I need you to do this and this and this and this and this, which is just like saying, stop falling down the hill. Nobody can do that. You got to give everybody a break. Give everybody a break. Give them the benefit of the doubt, and you just calibrate to who you really are. And after a while, you'll just notice that in that continuing calibration, things are just good and gooder and gooder and gooder and gooder for you. Others notice that. And some of them will be jealous and they'll attack you. Why does all the good stuff come to you? Why are they getting my stuff? Why are they getting my stuff? Well, nobody can get your stuff.